This is a seasonal road that I had taken just, I believe it's south of our property. Just past Baldwin's Corners. I'm gonna go back up to our property now. Hopefully. Turkey. This is just off Baldwin Corners. And over back here on that pond back there, those are geese and a few ducks. Wednesday, October 3rd, 1990, and Brian Kelly did a hell of a job scouting. No deer as of yet, but I just got here. Just about 4:15 right now in the afternoon. And that's really pretty. Everything's starting to change over as far as color, foliage. And you gotta look at those geese over there. That's unbelievable. And I wonder if Joey's gonna be at that property right now. Probably yelling and screaming. Yep, turkey. And that's all for now, folks. Joey's probably crying at the property. Where's Brian? There's a cornfield over here. Oh, this is great. Not far from the property now. And just up that road. Okay, here we go. are at Summerfield's property. There's the barn, farm. And this is our property. That's the creek down there. What's interesting is, seems like the new owner of that farm that took over from Vern Pixley has wired off the property there. It's designated by those white tags. He's got it the length of our property along the DEC trench, all the way down where we were camping down there. My brother and I, Mike Kelly. And that's where we camped. And that's where also we have a few apple trees, and the creek runs around the perimeter along the pines with a hedgerow. Runs back inside there. He seems to be using our portion of this property. I assume he's using his cows to allow to graze in there. He's making himself right at home. At any rate, you go back up top there, where it plateaus is where we saw a lot of the deer. Last year, just around daybreak, we were all in along that pine line there, all the way around the perimeter of the property towards the back. And when you go up about 3/4 of the way, where it plateaus, is where I saw most of the deer. Jim Riley was right by the creek there with my brother and I, and he saw one doe, and then saw that there was about 6 or 7 other doe around it. And when we went back up top, I went basically by myself, and Mike and Jimmy Riley had followed thereafter, and I saw 5 deer at different times. And Mike and Jim also saw a 6-point buck that I had seen after. And prior to that, somebody had taken a shot from the farm on the back property there. Just go over that ridge. There's another farm back there where you had another hunting party that had taken a shot at this buck that ran across our property. Mike and Jim had a shot but never took it, thinking the other was going to shoot. And when I seen him, he was in a full run, and he was about 75 yards away, where he decided to slow down just at the top part of the ridge. And I was waiting for him to clear a wide oak tree, and he never did. He just went down the other side of the ridge, and that was the end of that. But a nice 6-point buck. And I saw also a doe was in front of it. So, there's a lot to see here. And where is Joey? Hope he comes. Got no place to stay tonight. I just heard a shot. Another shot. Get one last look. Kelly, Abercrombie, Kelly, Summerfield Place. Didn't see any deer. Some great views up there. Another shot. Right down in this area here where you got the small trees growing. So a lot of runs, deer runs inside there. Eventually that will be where the corn is going to be planted next year by Carl Rowe, our new resident farmer, who hopefully will do the right thing when it comes down to Kelly, Abercrombie, Kelly. And if you notice, the fence that he put in here is an electrified fence on Kelly, Abercrombie, Kelly property. Now, we'll see what happens when Santa Claus comes, if there's anything in for Kelly, Abercrombie, and Kelly, which I'm sure there is. Otherwise, Carl Rowe, you will be disconnected. I'll take another look and see if we can find any deer down there. Right down at the end there is the base of the stream. Hopefully the people are sighting their guns in. Otherwise, as Joe would say, they were probably crow hunting. It may even be Joe Aprascati himself. Yeah, trees are starting to turn a nice color. Okay, signing off for now, boys. Till the next time. At Kelly, Abercrombie, Kelly, Summerfield Place, where we will be hunting for deer and turkey on this particular property. And we'll go up to Lake Cayuga to hunt goose. Okay, that is all.
Well, again, 2 in the morning around 7 o'clock. They were frolicking for about 20 minutes. Then another pair around 8 o'clock came by. They were good size. If I had to open it, I would have definitely taken one of them. The last one, huge. They were good size, big hoof prints. And then I heard Mr. Kelly's gun around 9 o'clock, and he'll be glad to tell you about that story. Also shot a red squirrel. Saw a black, looked like a black squirrel. That was on Saturday. Tried to shoot a squirrel too far away. I didn't have the real opportunity to nail that one squirrel. That's all I saw. It's really tough to walk out there. 2 feet of snow. But there's a lot of one thing that was really promising, that we saw a lot of tracks in this stuff, especially around where with the 2 stands that I have. They come through the gate or the fence. They have specific spots in the fence that they come through. Brian saw one point where I have my lower stand. They come through there, and with my higher stand, in fact, I saw tracks that went right through where I stand. So that's the 1995 trip. 50% over, and we're about to complete it tomorrow.
So how many does did you see, you figure?
4 only.
Mike?
I'm doing the dishes as usual. I only saw the one deer, but it might have been an 8-pointer, might have been big. I just couldn't tell.
It was crawling away.
But yeah, it crawled on the floor, and unfortunately I was on top of the ravine, he was below it, and I think my shots sailed over it. One may have just grazed the top and knocked him down, but I couldn't find any blood.
Well, you had the plug in the shotgun,
That
right?
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but you were able to pop another round
Yeah,
in.
but I still wouldn't have gotten a shot off. It was below me. I couldn't see it.
I thought you did get the shot off.
I got 3 shots off. I said I reloaded the chamber, but the 4th I never had
Oh.
a chance to shoot. It was gone. And then on Saturday we must have saw, I don't know, 200 geese, about 100 turkey, and we had 2
across from
opportunities.
Oros's property, right across Lower Cincinnatus Road,
In between 26.
and the
And,
turkey. in
we had
between.
2 opportunities to bring down a turkey, but we had steel shot, and they were just moving too quick.
Yeah, about
And I think I spooked up a pheasant on a corner of our field, so. Next year, Joe, show us what marathon is. That's it.
No, you went the wrong way. No.
Yeah, I didn't go the wrong way. Next year will be, we can get a pheasant or 2.
So, what do you think we should do about getting that monster buck today, Mike?
I don't know. I don't think you're going to be able to push him. He hides. I'm going to tell you that right now.
What,
He hides in the pines.
what do you think it was that made him move?
Thought I saw him.
You said you walked out into the sun.
And I walked out into the sun. He thought I saw him. I stopped, looked in the sun. It was dumb
That's
luck
when he
that I
got.
ran across.
Yeah,
Then
that's when he got to see you.
I think he knew
He
I was,
probably shit in his pants.
yeah. I don't know. He might have known I was there the whole time. I don't know, because I was walking around, stopped.
You
walking
probably
around.
scared him. Yeah, that would
At
scare
that point in time, yeah, he got nervous. But you know, they hide in the pines.
All right, let's hold on a minute.
him. Was that?
He's blowing towards him.
Yeah, your scent was blowing towards him,
Yeah.
so he knew. And he probably got a good whiff when you stood out. He probably didn't see you.
I don't know.
He didn't see you when that sun hit you. You became a beacon.
Yeah, but I'm sure he had to hear me because I was walking
Yeah, definitely. I think
sure
he
he
knew
knew
he was there.
He knew you were there,
somewhere. He knew I was.
and he was in a situation. You cornered him. Did he
I
jump?
had him trapped.
Was he running
No,
through the ravine, or did he run
he
up?
was crawling. He ran back over the ravine.
He was going in the opposite. He went back the
The
opposite
opposite direction. He was
up the hill.
going. Up the hill.
So he's heading down the ravine
He was heading
towards
down towards
to the field.
Towards the stream. Yeah.
And then he decided. See, that's what I think's going to happen. If we
What?
try to, what I think is we got to post. We have to post guys up the hill and come down. Hope that he's in the swamp area and go through the swamp area and have someone in the pines.
Well, I think he's definitely in the swamp area. It's very thick in there, and he's, you know, it's very tough moving and walking in the water. No, it's all right.
Yeah, you can't get in there without making any noise.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
And you have to discover him, and it gets pretty thick in there, and it's very brushy, tough to move.
That's absolutely amazing that he would crawl.
The camp life.
Is there enough light in here for that?
You'd be surprised, though.
Oh, did you pour? Oh, you did pour coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Mike, you see this little pine tree out here?
Yeah, I walked past it yesterday. Took the snow off.
Charlie Brown Christmas tree. This one for you, Kathleen and Jim. Hey, Mike. Where about did you see that buck? Is straight back behind us? Huh?
Go straight down and just to your right. Right back in there.
Well, that's about where Mike was. I'll show you where Joe was. Joe walks down that path, down there. And he was just up maybe 100 yards up in there. And I was walk down there, all the way down that fence line. That's a fence line. Up through those apple trees, up around those trees, and I'd say about 200 yards up beyond Joe. And up there is where I saw a 6-point bug that I missed. And the way that happened, there was another hunter on Atkinson's land, and I was up in the corner of ours in Atkinson's land, right on that where he posted the signs and our fence lines met. So when I saw him come, I had to turn the other way, opposite away from him, so anything in line of fire to my right and left, I could shoot away and not interfere with him. So what happened was, on my right, I saw something, and I turned to the right, and I saw a flicker. And what it was an ear of a deer just beyond the tree, and I was able to get my binoculars up to see that, and it turned out to be a button buck. And he walked out, so I had to turn around. And at this point, he was going from my left to my right on Atkinson's land, and behind him were two does, and then behind him was the 6-point buck. So button buck and the two does went frolicking ahead, and he was following behind, and there were trees in the way. So I was watching him. I saw the 6-point, and my heart was pounding. So what happened was that they were going towards the other hunter, and that's when the two does had stopped, and then he stopped. But he was behind trees, but then he moved out where his shoulder and head were just beyond the tree, and he stood there. And I know that my shot, as I paced it off later, was about 80 yards, but I was shooting an inch off center from about 75 yards when we sighted in, so I wasn't concerned about that. But what happened was I had to shoot through a hole in the bush and underneath an evergreen to get to him. But I put the sight right on where I needed to, right on his lower shoulder. And I guess I must have moved the gun in my excitement because it missed him. But he just stood there. He looked at me, and he didn't flinch or anything. He just stood there. And then he walked a little ways. I could have shot him again, but I figured I had my shot. It was on Atkinson's land, and he walked right over to the other hunter. His name was Frank Wykowski, one of Atkinson's party, and he nailed him right in the neck. It wasn't a big 6-pointer, but it was nice. It was definitely nice. And then Joe making fun of me, adding to my disappointment, but that's typical of Joe. Joe's still crying. Oh, the Kelly boys get to see their bucks. You guys are so lucky, but we position ourselves to be in for a buck. And Joe, you know, with all his, we call him Mr. Gadget, with all his camouflage netting and blinds, and all he can get is big dogs.
At least I get him. The second to hit him, you need an elephant. We had to get an elephant for you to hit one.
Well, excluding present company.
Oh, you dog.
All right,
I'll get even.
We'll talk. Oh, yes, you will.
I'll get even with you. Where do I get a hold of Hickey?
Good night, Joe. See raised fence down there, Mike?
No.
Yeah, you
see it?
let me see. No, you're right. You can't see it because it slopes.
Why don't you guys dump the shitter?
Thanks for the opportunity. All right.
So, Joe, one more time. What are you going to say to Ray?
Right. I noticed you put up a fence in the field. You say, yep. I'm going to say, look, I believe from conversations I've had with Roger McKee that we own 100 feet off the barn.
Actually, it wasn't Roger. It was his son-in-law.
Yeah.
What was his name again? Jim.
Purchased the house, purchased the property from McKee Realty. They said it was 100 feet off the ground, 100 feet off the barn. So, then if he asks, he says, no, that's my property line. I said, I'll ask him, did you have it surveyed? And if he says yes, then I'll say, is it possible we can take a look at it now? He'll say either no. If he says no, I'll say, gee, then my lawyer will be in touch.
That's all.
If he says yes, great, I'll look at it. Anyway.
The burden of proof is upon him. Like a copy of the survey.
If he doesn't have a survey, do I tell him to remove the fence?
Well, we can't. We say, well, if you, we just need burden. What's the proof that you could put the line here? We don't. We want to know.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
But you know, I say if he if he doesn't have any proof where the line is, how could he put a fence? Tell you, my that deck worked out well, didn't it? So, Mike, what do you think the plan is for hunting that buck you saw yesterday?
You know, you need more people to push him. Or you just sit in the swamp. That's the only idea.
Maybe we can wait for Jerry.
Yeah. Or just sit in the swamp and wait for him to come back. If he comes back.
Okay.
I gotta be out here about 1:30. Got everybody coming up. Everybody's coming up on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be working late tomorrow night. I'll tell you that right now. Getting a lot of shit done today.
1:30. You want to leave?
If I don't get it done tonight, I can't get it done. It's Thanksgiving's Thursday. I
Yeah.
forgot all about that. And I know I'll get home till about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. If I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. So,
Okay.
and I need to get that done. It's not fair. It only does all the work around the house.
Open the flue so the smoke doesn't come in here. It's hot. It's getting real hot. We oak. As you can see, we split it. It's doing real fine, nice and dry. Even though the outside's wet, the inside is nice and dry. And I stoked it just a moment ago. And you can see that's a hot fire. Real hot fire.
Hey, you think we got enough wood tonight, Joe?
More than enough. Absolutely more than enough.
Yeah, it was snowing pretty heavy before.
Real heavy. The snow was melting off the canvas and it's dried
I'll
off
stop now.
Stop now. But we're gonna have walls. This is gonna be where the galley is. Oops. The galley's gonna be over here. Sleeping quarters over here and on that wall. Rather than we're gonna have a peak. We're gonna have a clothesline if we need it. Rather than that little clothesline there. And gonna have the fireplace here. Jerry's gonna use it as his little social event. So he can have his friends down, have a beer or two, and enjoy.
And make sure we're knee deep in firewood.
Firewood. We're gonna have the firewood off to the right of the deck.
You have to get some skids for that.
Yeah, we'll make it whatever we have to.
No,
do.
we'll get the skids. We'll bring them up.
So we're gonna get a bulldozer. We're gonna level the area off, make lanes, clear the woods up way up on top, make some shooting lanes, take the chainsaw and go to town and
All right,
make this a premier hunting camp.
All right, so once we get the bulldozer, we're going to plant what?
We're gonna put white clover down.
Okay.
In the springtime, we may chew up our turkey hunt this year, but we're gonna go there.
Yeah, but we can hunt over at the DEC over by
Yeah, that's fine.
Lower
Off on
Cincinnatus
26,
Road.
yeah. Then after we bulldoze and keep it cut, corn on one side, corn on this side. Maybe we'll have hay over there. This is going to be a premier hunting club. Premier, absolutely the best. All right, let me have it feed. Shut it off. What do you have to say? How about yesterday's hunt? Talk about that. You haven't
Yesterday, something I think I did. No, I didn't.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did, Joe. I've already suffered the embarrassment of that. And the thing is, today's hunt, I got snake bit again. And what happened this time? Mike and Joe. Joey, you finished? Mike and Joe had gone in around, what, 10 o'clock this morning?
Yes.
Okay. You had gone in, straight in across the trench.
Yes.
And Mike went to the right, and you went up to where,
Right.
to the left, about 50 yards or so. When they had done that, I walked in down near the courtyard,
and walked across in knee-deep snow, by the way. And I walked in, and I waited for them to go in, and I stood there and I glassed that slope behind the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I saw one of the deer coming down the slope. It was really neat to see. I mean, I've been telling Mike and Joe about it, and I was saying that was what a great vantage point for them to sit on the slope, because they could be able to observe every move that we make. And sure enough, they were up there. So what happened was I walked all the way around to the 45-acre property, all the way around the woods, hopped over the fence, and walked in. And I was in there probably around 11:30. And maybe an hour later, behind me, I was walking in, but because of the snow, you're crunching, and it was making too much noise, even though that snow was falling down off the evergreens, and kind of masking my movement. But I was moving very slowly, and I looked behind me, and I saw 2 deer. All I could see through the evergreens was just 2 brown backs come walking down the slope. But they were outside the wooded area where I was, up on the 45-acre property. They walked outside, and sure as I could say, after that, when I just saw them, all of a sudden all kinds of gunfire goes on. I'm like, I don't know what the heck is going on. 5 shots go, and they just stood there. Right? They walked around right where the stream is running down on, in the courtyard area. They started walking up, and just as they got to me, the doe that was in front of the buck had come up and looked straight up at me, and she kept on going. I put my gun up, waiting for the buck to clear the trees, and I had the doe had walked across my sights at first, and I was waiting for that buck to come along. The fire, somebody started open fire again. The doe jumps up, prances the other way, tail in the air. The buck never cleared that tree. I had that lane. I was waiting for him.
What's the bottom line?
Bottom line is I didn't get the chance to shoot. But that was a 6-point buck. I mean, I saw a 4, but Joe's talking to me as well. If you saw a 4, he's definitely at least a 6. He was good size. They ran off, they rambled up, and I wasn't going to take a running shot. He was jumping, and but I had to shoot through evergreens to get him. But another opportunity lost. So I seen 2 6-pointers in the last 2 days, and I don't know. I'm going to go out tomorrow morning, but I'll tell you, this is the greatest thing in the world. It was fun. It's just that if I only had that chance,
It's
Joey
over.
would.
No. Flux.
All right. Well, we're going to take a look at these stars.
Is it 6 lux?
It's a beautiful thing. Well, looking at stars, I don't know if you can see them, but even if you can't.
Hey, Brian, I think you should take a shut eye.
Look at this tent. What's that, Joey?
I think you should take this a buff.
Joe, maybe we can't see this tent.
Take a snooze. When Gary comes, we'll talk pig.
Well, stars. It's cold out here. Is it cold out here or what, Joe?
I didn't feel it, Brian. Maybe because I'm not.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of insulation. But
You gotta put that on record.
what?
I'd say something, but you're putting it on record, and I don't want to be put on record for 8 hours.
Oh, so Lammy won't hear you, right? Look at Joey, taking it easy. Taking
The
hay.
cat's meow.
Say goodnight, Joe.
Hey, Brian.
Well, this is what ambiance is all about. But the real reason is my boy Joey over there. It said to me that he doesn't snore, and I beg to differ. He wants proof, he says. That's what the home audience tell me. Now, is he snoring? Oh, what? Well, Joe, you asked me for proof. Now you got it. Sweet dreams, Joey.
Hot. Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you guys did a good. You know what I think? It was that wood, that oak.
Stop taking this picture.
I'm not taking this picture. I
Embarrassing the
purposely
guy.
not
I don't
doing it.
I don't want you to do one of these and go like this.
Joey. Well, closing moments, Joe.
It's been a great hunt. Lots of fun. 1985. What is today? 22nd.
Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving.
Again, we're going home empty-handed. I'm getting a doe permit next year.
Well, we'll have to do that.
It's easy for you guys. All you gotta do is file landowner. You'll get one automatically.
Yeah, well, we
At
just
least have
didn't
one.
do it.
Yep,
That's.
I mean, that's it. So that comes out of your guys go on a preference list. You get one automatically.
Yeah.
Oh, we never even applied for it.
Packing up. Packing up. Burning our garbage. Let's look at the property. Yeah, Joe cut me off last night about the buck that almost was. I'll get another chance. I position myself well, unlike Joe, because he shoots the first thing he sees. Doesn't wait for the buck to come around. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yes, did I?
Yeah, we had fun.
Listen, Buana.
No, Mike was not Buana today. Not this trip.
No, he wasn't.
Mike was a big help. And we're ready to take the tent down now. Next year,
Where are you gonna go?
we're gonna put a frame inside, and we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna wing it. And works out, we'll just be coming right up here without any takedown or setup. Just walk right in. Jerry will set us up nice. Firewood, cut down all the weeds for us. So let's see what this will be a real hunter's camp, that's for sure. That'll be next year at this time. Well, signing off, folks. Kathleen and Jim. I miss you kids very much, and I'll see you later on tonight when I pick you up. Go to Uncle Mike's in Aunt Arlene's for Thanksgiving, and we'll have a lot of fun. So this was the close of the 1995 deer hunt. We also found, which could prove to be real beneficial if they were only in season. Saw a lot of about 1,000 geese on the other side of the road down that way, lower Cincinnatus Road on the other side. And state property is over there, so maybe Mike and I and hopefully Joe will come hunting with us this time instead of turkey hunting and bow hunting. Nail some geese. There's also ducks down there. So there's a lot of opportunities here for us. You know what to do now. Know where to go. All in good time. So long for now. This is Brian Kelly speaking to you from Cincinnatus, New York. On a cold, blustery day, 2 feet of snow. More coming tonight. Another couple of inches. By our weatherman, Jerry Simmons. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.
First time you took that out, you got Mike to take pictures of Mike. Or did you?
I wasn't thinking about it. Joe, you know, I was just
I hear you.
enjoying myself. All right, well. Tell us about hunting, 1996, Joe.
Oh, man, what a disappointment.
What happened?
Rained. So the opening day was okay. It was nice in the morning. It rained a little bit, but nothing bad. Later in the day, it started really pouring. Left the field about 3 o'clock. Got back by about 3:30.
This is key to wind them up.
My key? Hey. I don't know. Today, the second day was Tuesday. Terrible. Wet, rainy, no deer. Harry said he took 2 off of the other side of the road and haven't been able to track down and help him on Wednesday. That's about it. Mike saw 2 turkey. Opening day, there were tons of squirrels. Red squirrels, gray squirrels. The gray squirrels were huge. And chipmunks.
How about them geese?
Oh yeah, the geese did fly over. Both days. Especially the second day, today, Tuesday. They came so close. If I had a round in the gun, I probably could have taken someone with a regular 12 gauge.
So you think they landed in Leonard's?
Yeah, later after the ones that came over the house, we saw one circle around and they started flipping and flopping into Leonard's cornfield next to us. That's about it. That's about it. Crows.
So what about the creature comforts here?
The what?
Creature comforts.
Of the Summerfields? Very nice. Excellent fire. Gene likes the ambiance. Can't have it any better than this. Got to bring Anthony up in the spring. Do some turkey hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Weekend.
Worked out good out there.
What's that?
How old is he?
He's 13. He's going to be 14 next.
When can he start?
12.
12, huh? Seems young to be having a shotgun in the woods.
Yeah, I agree. But I think 13 is a little more responsible. It seems to be a lot
That's a
more
fire.
Gotta wait until he's 16 until he's
So he what?
15, 16. It's illegal to be in the field with a gun. They cannot, they're not allowed.
Oh, it's 13. I'll keep it at 12.
Small game. So I'll bring him up in October and I'll bring him in spring. I'm try to bring him. I'm gonna try to see if I can train this. The dog's gonna be nuts. She's gonna be a year in May. I don't know if she's gonna be worth anything in the next fall. She's still too young. My other dog would be great. The only thing is he was gun shy. That was a problem.
Alright. That's it for now. Beautiful fire.
What's this?
Yeah.
Mike, you should have seen it. Should have been here. Always works out to be the day that.
Whoops. What's that?
Always works out to be the day that is an opening day.
I know.
We'll have another opening day. That light snowfall like this makes a move. I bet you they're in the pines.
Oh, I
Hey,
bet
you wanna
you
you
are
wanna
right.
you wanna go down before we help Harry in getting his?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do some hunting, no doubt.
We'll go down that way. I'll go one way. You go the other way.
Sure, we can do that.
I'd like to push this field. See if there's anything.
That's a good possibility, Joe. Very good possibility.
Man,
Let's
I
take
wish-
a look outside real quick. Oh boy, I think he's driving home now. Left about 15, 20 minutes ago. It's now Wednesday morning. It's 8:15. Snow's just starting to come down heavier. It was flurrying before, just flurry activity. But this is our camp. Wood on the side, thanks to Joe Kelly. And that's the smoke alarm for the inside. It's our hunting camp. Snow's coming down nicely. Joe and I will go out. Now we can see some tracks because it was a difficult day for opening day. It was raining. When it rains, they can't hear because the rain hitting the leaves makes a lot of noise, and when they can't hear, they don't move. Even though I saw a big doe and 2 other does on opening day, but that was about it. Wow, it's starting to come down pretty heavy. Looking out for it right off our deck. Got a nice view. Joe Kelly did a spectacular job with the windows and the stove. Had a great idea by putting the stove in between the 2 windows so you can look at both the fire and the outside, which is excellent. Excellent idea.
What about the stove outside?
This stove
Oh
outside.
no.
This is our view.
You can get a close up of the ridge up there.
Yeah, that's it. Works out good, Joe, huh?
Very nice looking today. It's like a picture. It's like a.
What's that?
I couldn't have painted a better picture.
Yeah, exactly. All right, signing off for now.
You can't even see the hill.
Yeah,
Just the outline of it. You can't even see the outlines of any of the trees.
I
As
know.
it goes.
This is something. Back up a little bit. What are the fires?
Waiting for those geese to fly by, take a pot shot. Give you a
Yeah,
stab.
tell Mike about
Yes.
the geese, Joe.
Well,
Landed
he was
over in
here.
this field yesterday.
He was here for that.
No, he wasn't. No,
He
he
wasn't. Yeah, they landed in the field next door, Mike.
No, he wasn't here for that.
Well, he was here for when it flew straight over. I'm telling you, they were in gun range. They were in 12 gauge gun range.
Man, this is
I can't even-
unbelievable. Look at it. You can't see the hill. All this snow
This
coming
is what
down.
opening day should have been like.
Yeah.
Maybe we can track them this afternoon. What do you think?
Sure. Take a walk out there. Nice fire going, snow coming down. And this is what it's about. It's a shame this wasn't opening, like the night before opening day. This would be great. A day before. One day we'll hit it just right. Man, that is snowing.
I gotta apply for a permit next year.
Yeah, I
So
know.
we can get one deer. As landowner.
I just want to show you kids the snow. Snow squalls. Smoke alarm. Okay, well for now.
And end of another season. We're leaving on the 22nd of November. And I didn't see any deer this year. This is 1996, 97 season. We're going to try turkey in the spring. But right now, deer they were pretty sparse. They hit quite well. We did a drive on to the Doc's property. Didn't push one thing out, but 2 pheasants and 2 partridge and a couple of squirrels. Opening day was really nice in the morning. We had squirrels all over the place. Red squirrels, gray squirrels, mostly red squirrels, and a lot of chipmunks where I was. And everyone saw the same thing. Brian happened to see 3 doe on opening day, and I guess it was on Thursday he saw about 5 deer. Wasn't able to make out. And Tuesday night he saw a deer just down on the cornfield where this structure is, and it was a huge deer. So when I checked it out the next day, and there were tracks. So other than that, that's going home empty-handed. We will get a buck one of these seasons, a nice trophy buck, one of the 3 of us. So, and this is the first year for the shed, and it worked out great. Absolutely fantastic. We were clean, we were warm, we were fed on time. It just worked out great. And the wood, we brought the wood up. We didn't have to cut wood. We did what we had to do, and that was fun. That's all I have to say.
All right, well, we slip upstairs. Go, why don't you show us upstairs?
Upstairs? Well, give you a picture with a red mark. Oh, you want me to go up there?
Yeah.
The loft worked out well. 4 people, we can probably sleep more, but 4 can sleep comfortably. It's getting smoky in here. Can you see me?
Right here.
It's going to be too dark up here.
Yeah, you can see.
I slept there. Kelly boy slept on this
Put that light
side.
on.
What?
Behind you.
What?
The light.
Are you going to take this or leave this? Anyway. Kelly boy slept here. I slept on this side. Gene slept up here for a day. And that's it.
How's the headroom?
It's a little on the short side. But, you know, worked out. That's it. What do you want to say, Brian?
I think you about covered it, Joe. You stole my thunder. I was going to tell about that buck.
Well, I can't do it. It's focusing on the glass.
Well, Joe stole my thunder as far as out in the field over there. Mike, not far from where you were, just a little further north of where you were. Actually, south is this way, right?
No, south is that way.
Okay, so I was right. Just on the beginning of the field, the cornfield out here, in the hardwoods that you were at, I was over at the doctor's property. I was coming back around near 5 o'clock. It was pretty dark, and I was walking through the field, and I saw a car coming from this direction towards the Simmons, and he stopped, like right by the tree line where the cornfield is. And I said, I thought maybe he saw me. I didn't really understand why, so I started walking up, and he left. And then another car had done the same thing. I said, man, I got to see what the heck is going on. So when I got to the road, I looked in our field, and there was this, I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell because I tried to scope it out with the binoculars, but all I could see is the white breast and their tails. There was at least 2 deer, but the deer was big. I'm not sure what it was. I couldn't make out the antlers, but he was out there for a good 5-10 minutes. I was just looking at me. I was watching him, and I would think that it could be a buck because somebody stopped and looked at it. So it's a good chance there's a big buck out there. He's good size, body size is big. So we tried scoping out down here in the evergreens, and I still walked it. Joe had gone the other way, and didn't see anything but a lot of tracks. There's a lot of down in the swamp, Mike. Maybe you could tell us exactly where you were, but there was tracks all in that swampy area. It'd be a great place to put a tree stand. But I had a good time. I had just as much fun in here than outside, you know, hunting, because this great. It really worked out great, much better than I thought it would. But it was well worth our efforts, and continued more traditions. So I guess that's all for 1996. And Kathleen, Jim.
Good. Can you see that? Can you see that?
We'll try.
Be careful, you're full flat. I'll take a picture of your deer.
No, it's too dark for that.
Yeah.
But you can see Joey
Yeah, get
inside,
Joey.
though.
He's got his plumber pants on.
Watch your step there, Brian.
Well, you know, this was the
Brian,
shot I
you're gonna-
wanted to get.
You
No,
got
I
the
see it.
plumber. He got his plumber
This is the
pants
shot
on.
I wanted to get because this really says it all.
This is only the second season.
Wow. It is nice, though.
We had 4 seasons out of 10, 2 with this, and 1, 2, 3 seasons with RVs. But then the RVs are getting so
Yeah.
expensive.
Sure. For one week of RV, you can find material for
No, but you know the thing
That's
is,
what happened.
Mike.
That's what happened.
Jim kept saying, "Why is Joe's pants keep falling down? Tell him to pull them up."
Hold on. There they are. He's got the plumber look now. He's got half his ass is showing, the other half is covered over.
That was so fun. I'll never forget that waking up that morning. I
Joey's
opened my
like
eyes.
this.
Joey's ass.
He's in the fire. Oh man.
That's a lot to contain, man.
Volleyed it,
Yeah.
under.
But
There's a lot to contain.
if you decide, and you take your time, if you decide you want to get into the game, there's a guy down the end of the block who does the hunter safety course, and I could
yeah.
talk to him. And he might be able to say, look, here, I'm come see me, and I'll see what I can do. But it's, in my opinion, because I'm very conservative, it's always good to get that under
Yeah.
your belt.
Joey working
The number one
inside.
thing they teach you is it's a tool, treat it as a tool, you got to respect it.
Yeah.
You know, you only make one
Well, the
mistake.
thing that I didn't like when we were walking through the field looking for
Pheasants?
pheasants was that I was always like, I had, whoever was carrying the gun, the way they carried it, I was always like right at the gun's facing me all the time. But I know, you know, it's the safety's on.
Yeah, but
it's
still,
an
they should never,
uncomfortable-
they
yeah.
should never.
I like this idea of the strap where, you know, you put it on your shoulder and it's pointed up.
Yeah.
That's all for now.
When you're walking like this, you know, because you're ready to go and shoot.
Trying to
When you're going like this and I'm walking like this, you see the barrier.
You're on.
Well, let's see if the
You're on the air.
AM up here. He's gonna put his cap on. He look better with the hat. Look at it.
It's Indiana
What
Jones.
do you
He
need?
does.
What do you need now? Oh, about the doe I shot?
Yep.
Couldn't find it. Tracked it over 300-400 yards. Went in Meade's property. It was right where you shot the doe. Or the buck, I should say. That's right. You aimed for the doe. You shot the buck.
Joey.
Jealousy will get
there
you
was-
nowhere, Joey.
There was a little blood here and there. We trailed it, but didn't
No shoes on.
hit it. Didn't hit it at all. So, they followed me.
Joey tried to help you, bud.
We helped them.
So I guess he doesn't get one of those Mel.
Nat Sherman.
Nat
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nat Sherman.
Nat Sherman cigars.
But tomorrow.
Sorry, Joe.
Tomorrow.
Hey, John. Welcome to the hunting club.
I tell you, it's been a great first year.
Played darts. He got to the championship in darts.
I was in the championship of darts, that's true. But my man Joe here was too good for me. He's overpowering.
It's not. It's nothing in the
Overpowering.
race.
It's not.
He was pressing on me. He was going for 17. I had 18, 19, and 20. I did it in 3 darts.
Did you?
Finished the game.
It's all in the
It's
wrist
very impressive.
action.
No. Joey said there's no wrist. It's just. It's in the
Well, he
elbow.
told me there was a wrist.
No
I
wrist.
don't
No
know.
wrist. Right
Release.
from behind your eyes.
Release.
Oh,
From
yeah.
behind your.
Release.
Behind your eye.
And then
Just throw your darts and count them later.
That's right.
Throw your darts.
Throw your
count
darts
'em
and
later.
count them later.
Here, turn
We're
it.
having a hell of a
Give me the
time.
camera and I want to record your.
You get the
your
no, let him get the ambiance.
The
Get
ambiance.
the ambiance. Then close it up. Look at all this smoke.
No smoke.
Ambiance.
This one's for Hickey.
Ambiance.
So Joe, are you gonna place your bets? Is Hickey gonna show today?
I don't know. He
6:31.
didn't call for the
Hinkley?
directions. I don't think so.
He
What
called
time
for
is it?
wait, he called for directions?
6:30.
One.
If he's not here by 9, he's not coming.
Did he call for directions?
No.
Oh, he did.
He wanted Brian to.
Call him.
Yeah.
Well, I did call him.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Here, let me have that. I want to hear. Shut it off. I want to hear you
Give him the net.
give your.
Oh, the story?
Blow by blow.
Can you bear it, Joe?
There I was, Joe.
Stinking like a dog.
I'm a man.
What's going on now?
Get me a beer, woman. Get me a beer.
Hey,
Ooh,
Oh, excuse me.
You're being recorded.
Whoa.
the hunters. It's a story.
Oh.
A man named Brady.
What happened was, I was over at the, just beyond the courtyard until 12 o'clock, there at 7. Saw absolutely nothing. So Harry come walking by, and Harry had said to me, well, you know, nothing's moving because we don't have enough hunters out here because there are a bunch of wimps. They stayed home because they had a foot of snow.
Usually there's more
So I went still hunting around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and around 2:30, I saw just a tail flare up, and it turned out to be a doe. I'm walking down. About 3 minutes later, see, Joe, remember this. This one's for you, Joe. Wait until you see the buck. Just wait. Have patience, Joe. Hold that itchy trigger finger back, baby.
Beep.
Time's up.
So, about 3 minutes later, the buck came walking down, and I didn't really have a shot. But there was a trench behind me, so I went down the trench, ran about 40 yards, came up behind a tree, and the buck was still, you know, meandering around. And it was about, Mike, how far a
I
shot?
would say 75 plus.
The buck was
Then he was just ready to go down the hill.
Just a guess.
Shooter let him go.
For a squeeze.
And I just couldn't bear to deal with Joey.
That's every
By telling him, what do you mean you saw a buck, you didn't shoot it? So I shot it.
How many points was the report?
Right, Joe, I'm telling you.
Started off as
It was a 6-pointer.
Was it 8? Was it 12?
It was 8.
It was a 6-pointer.
What happened?
I'll tell you that.
Did you
Savage
shoot-
slug hit him, knocked him off. Right?
Knock
Knocked him right
the other
down, and
4 off. Okay.
points came up. But actually, you know, it was a big. I tell you, I saw the horns. It was big horns. I thought for sure it was a 6, but it turned out to be a pretty large spike. So, but I didn't hit him that well. I spined him, and that's the bad part. But you know, I waited about 15 minutes, came up, and he was dragging itself down the hill, and I had to finish him off. But as Joe says, I'll get over it. So I'm on my way. But
That's it?
that's it. We had some fun. And now we got a legitimate hunting camp. And John was here to see it.
There we go.
So your first experience was pretty good?
Very good. Very
like
good.
it?
Having
Okay.
a good time.
Good food?
He's great. Good food. Good camaraderie.
Where's Mike?
Mike? I think he's out doing his business.
Okay.
Mike is looking
Oh.
for a doe. Up here he comes.
Mike, how's your day today? Did you see any deer?
With the turtleneck.
Did you see any deer?
It's George Steinbrenner.
just the tail. Just the tail. of the one.
Just the tail.
Starting to smell smoke, Mike.
It was an ugly
Starting
tail.
to smell smoke.
Smoke? Yes, smoke in there.
Okay, time out.
Yeah, there it is. There's your buckmaster.
Talk, Mike.
There's your buckmaster right there. Snoring a little bit.
Soaring that wood. He's soaring that wood.
Is he sawing the wood,
He's
boys?
got the under too. It's 8:46.
47. Didn't make the 9 o'clock game.
But Joey made it. Right to the last drop.
So Mike, what'd you think?
Knew you knew. We do. Very nice occasion.
All right, we'll wait till after Mike eats.
Very nice occasion.
Okay, John, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, I wanted to just say thanks for inviting me. I had a great time. It's a beautiful place. And as you know, Brian got a 6-point. Or was it a 6-pointer? Oh, no, no.
It was a
It was a 2-pointer. Oh, he immediately moves the camera.
Thanks for setting me up.
But it's
So
big.
he's been giving me pointers ever since. Hopefully next year I'll be
He's
carrying
off
a
the
gun.
schneid. Sun is
That's great. We had some nice
nice
time in the
conditions.
woods. Yep.
So a lot of tracks, or the turkey tracks. You got to saw Joey in action, dragging
Joey
down.
in action. That's right.
Yeah, he did a great job with.
Saw him trailing, saw him gutting, saw him pulling the deer down
Watching out for people, making sure they don't
Downhill.
see things.
downhill.
Making sure they don't see things they shouldn't be seeing right
That's right.
about now.
That's right. But we couldn't let Joey pull it uphill. Joey, you're
Oh, yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
All right.
Joey worked up a mean sweat.
You should have seen him yesterday when we walked in.
He worked up a mean sweat.
What was that?
He was sweating bullets.
Oh,
I mean, but he was walking for hours.
there's a lot of extra baggage.
Hours. No, it wasn't baggage. He just had a lot of clothing on.
Oh yeah, he's
Just ask him.
He's
he'll tell
working
you.
hard. Working hard.
reminds me of Santa in that red outfit.
Thank God
Well.
he's got suspenders on.
Maybe when I get home I'll brush my teeth. 4 days. And I'm looking forward to it.
Turned out to be a nice day today.
Oh, it's
We had
great.
snow, we had everything. No, it's kind of bright, so I don't know if you'll be able to see the terrain. But Joe's still up there.
Joe's still up there. He doesn't want to go home without something on his roof rack.
But I'm telling you, Brian, you see that?
Trying to get that deer in the picture, you know.
Sure.
See Wheeler's
Of course,
place?
of course.
Yeah, you see that, John, up there? Wheelers?
But that's what. Remember we saw those two guys walking?
Was that where they were?
Yeah, and they were
Up-
in right at the edge of those woods there.
Oh, up top there.
Yeah, up top, yeah.
Oh, so they weren't even on the 45-acre property.
No, they were walking right where all that white snow is. Almost halfway into it. And they were
As
by
opposed
the
to the yellow
street.
snow around
Yeah,
the deck here.
Yeah.
But they were in the lower cut of the trees there. That's where I kept losing the guy.
Wow. All right.
No, they weren't on the 45-acre piece at all. You see the fence? There's a fence. They were on the other side.
Oh, okay, I
You
see.
barely see the barbed wire fence. They
Yeah,
were,
so maybe they were friends of Wheelers that he allowed them
they
to
allowed
hunt.
them to hunt there, yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if Joey's gutting something right about now.
he might.
No, he'd be galloping back right now.
You think so? He wouldn't want us to leave without seeing it.
He'd be going like that.
He wouldn't want us to
Help
leave without
me.
seeing it.
He runs good when there's food on the table. All right, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. I'll get. Don't worry. I'll have Joe sit down and say, "Well, what happened, Joe? Why did you spook all those deer that I was going to push to Mike and John?"
Right, I didn't know. I don't think he knew.
Hey, this deer's been all I feel.
I know. I was checking it out.
Oh, you're out there too?
Yeah. It's Leonard taking manure and putting it out into the field, which is going to be corn next year. Standing corn. It's
Is it?
working already. Yeah, I suppose.
I hope so.
Me too.
Man, look at him throw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw 2 deer this morning.
All right, Joe.
Saw 2 deer this morning, right near where you were sitting. I covered the ridge and came down, hopefully, hoping to catch them on the road up there. That didn't work out. But I saw 2. I saw one going in this morning. Hell, he saw me walking in.
Yeah.
And then I walked. I saw your footsteps across over there behind the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut down and across into the pines, and I found the one deer. In fact, they were playing right on the edge here. And you know, there's turkey tracks going across,
No, I didn't see that.
and there were deer tracks coming across. It was,
So tell me, when you just walked in before, the second time?
no, first time.
Oh, I thought you saw some now. When you walked in
I
there.
saw tracks. I saw one when I walked from the courtyard in the pines.
This
I was-
morning or this afternoon?
This afternoon, just before I saw you.
Oh, you did? What was it?
I couldn't see if I would say it was the doe, but it was
Was
running,
sitting in the pines?
just laying in the pines.
Wow.
I spooked it. In fact, it spooked me too. It was just laying down.
How far was it?
It was in the middle, right in the middle here.
Oh, right here?
Right in the middle, right in the pines there.
Oh, in the pines, yeah. That's
Where I
what-
was sitting.
Yeah, how
is where
far from you?
When I walked up on it, it jumped. It just jumped from its laying position.
How far?
Maybe 30 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even see it. It saw. In fact, there was a bunch of trees in front of me. And
Oh, you
then
didn't
when
see- I thought you
passed the
saw it.
trees, It jumped.
You saw it?
Yeah. Jumped very high.
How big was it?
I thought it was a good-sized
Yeah.
deer. I just didn't know whether it was a buck or a doe. It was
Neat.
just, moving too fast.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, but all out here. They were.
I know. I
They've
saw.
been out here all evening.
And I was checking the tracks in here. I was thinking
I was doing that too.
that maybe they was sitting down in here, because you read about those wary bucks, they'll be sitting in plain sight.
I was looking. I was hoping you told me about it.
Yeah, so I took a walk in there, and what they did, they came in from that corner there and walk all the way up front into the cornfield
Yeah,
where
down
the kids threw the corn husks, and right in that field, that's where they're at. Oh, he left already, huh?
Yeah, he threw it out. One swipe, and it was gone.
No, pretty nice, Joe, huh?
This is the most promising hunting I've ever seen here. You know that?
Well, maybe you can get a picture of deer.
Go ahead.
Maybe you can come over around over here, Joe. Like you were thinking before, right?
What's that?
You see the profile.
Yeah, all right.
You see these horns here.
Yeah, pull it away so.
You see?
Yeah, I'll get a good close up on it.
And Joe was thinking that he's gonna have a couple of bouts because one of the tines is off. And actually, when I saw this deer, first I saw the doe, and all I saw was the tail. And that was right center of the property. I guess where Mike had seen his big buck, where it has a swamp area. I was up north of that where the pines they begin at the foot of the hill.
Mhm.
They start filling in. So as I was walking up, I was walking this way, they were coming from my left to right. And all I saw was a flutter, so I stopped. And I could have sworn it was a doe, but I didn't know. I couldn't see anything. It's all I saw, and then it was gone. And it was going to start to move again, and then I saw the doe. So what they're doing is they're moving, they're stopping, much like we are when we still hunt. And this doe came walking out, meandered down, and I waited. I just froze where I was, waited, I'd say a good 3 to 5 minutes, and then the buck came down, this way. So he was a good distance away, but he was meandering around, and at one point he actually saw me because right behind me was a ravine. And I was trying to back down into the ravine and come running across this way because he was going parallel to the ravine, going downhill from uphill. He was going into the cover and naturally chasing the doe. So what happened was I started to back down, he saw me, and he was a good, like I said, I feel he's good 85, 90 yards away. Saw me and stopped and looked right at me. I froze like this, and he looked at me for a good 30 seconds at least, just stared at me. And then, because I didn't move, he went about his business. So I backed down the ravine and went as quickly as I could, I'd say a good 40, 50 yards, and then came up behind this big tree. So I climbed up, looked over to the right, and there he was. He was standing right there going his way. So I caught up to him. And there was this, it was starting to go down a ridge again. So he was meandering, and I wasn't sure at first whether he was the buck or the doe. And I glassed him, he was the buck, and it was just one chance I could have because he just cleared this tree, so I was able to lift the gun. And as soon as he came across, I shot. Knocked him right down. His feet went up in the air, knocked snow up and hit the ground, but I couldn't see him because he went down into a ravine. It starts to go downhill at that point. So
I was so excited I didn't eject the shot. I was just standing there. I should have ejected right away. But what happened was I waited about 15 minutes because if you come across them, you're only going to push them if you only wound them. So when I came up, unfortunately, when I took the shot, I think I took too long to squeeze the trigger. And what happened is he was walking, so instead of hitting him here, I actually hit him there and spined him, and he was actually crawling away. So I had to hit him again and hit him there, which took his lungs out, and that was it. But actually, at the time when I saw him, I thought because of the length of these horns, and I told everybody it was a 6-point because look at the length of him. And it turns out he's just a spike, but I knew he was a big deer, so I just figured he was. But he's pretty good size. So, food on the table.
Success?
Started.
Barely see it.
What's that? It's there, but it's not doing as well.
This is our hunting camp. Icicles. It's very cold at night, and today it went up to 40 degrees. This is the second day of the hunt, which is Tuesday. Tuesday evening, and it's actually it's quite beautiful. It's dusk. I tell you, once that sun goes down, it gets awful cold in a hurry. Well, not terribly cold. Sunset on Summerfield Hill. Joe trying to light the lantern. What could happen is too much moisture in the
Calm. Maybe I should.
Is it lit? Use that
it's
generator
lit.
that you
I'm
have.
gonna try to light it up.
Huh?
Let me just pump it up a little.
I don't know how to work that generator that you got. Because once you turn it,
There's instructions on the side.
well, it's completely different than what I have. I just let it you go. Joe's got these newfangled things. Joe in action. It's not lighting. Oh. Sorry folks, that demonstration of how to light a lantern. Well, anyway, take a look at the camp. Joe did a nice job on the railing. While he's trying to light that lantern, we're going to take a walk around. Icicles for the kids. Lantern for Uncle Mike coming in with John. Guess I'm going a little crazy, but I'm proud of this thing. Put a lot of work, a lot of effort into this, and it's really a nice camp. Nice camp. Now it's officially a deer camp now that we have one. Actually, Gene Hickey got two. Joe got the first one. One's actually got two, but they're does, so they don't count. He has a buck and a doe. But, yeah, it looks pretty sharp, I have to say. Joe Kelly, can't thank you enough for all you've done for us. The loft and the stove and every other thing. Even got us the wood for the railing that Joe Abel did a nice job with. But things really came together for us, and you know, I'm sure we'll have some improvements as we go along. But no, it's been fun. We had a good time. Tomorrow we're gonna go in the morning for half the day, and you know, for hunting, and then we'll start cleaning the place up and getting ready to go. So I'll be home tomorrow night sometime. But no, it's always a good time out. Mike brought John Crum out, and he really likes it. He'll probably be back. Missed Hickey this year. I don't know. I guess he needed directions or whatever, but I'm sure he'll give me another sob story. Oh, can't make it. Because he's so popular that everybody asks him to, he's such an accomplished hunter that everyone asks him to their hunting camps. But this is the one that really counts in my book. And actually, Mike and John had trouble going up this path here when we went to Brian Pizzara's football extravaganza, when he had every channel in the book. We watched every game, literally. And we got stuck a couple of times. Nothing that little well, the elbows and little shovel could do for you. We got out and came back enough to in time to come back Sunday evening. Missed dinner with Joe, but that's the way it goes. All right. We did okay. All right, let's see if Joey got that thing started. Oh, nope. No, I guess his show is going to be discontinued because it doesn't work. Oh, we got it. I'm sorry. He's working on the second one. All right, Joe. Nice job.
Sorry?
Nice job. All right, well, I got to shut down. It's starting to... Joe, we can't get you to light this one. Say signing off.
Signing
Ah,
off.
this is just the ambiance. The big fella had to make that courtesy phone call, and I had this fire here, and this, John, is for you, being that you think that I smoked the place out. I think seeing is believing. Look at that ambiance. As a matter of fact, it's cooking our turkey soup that we had, well, actually I had made because Joey cut his finger! But I just wanted to show you this is something that Brian Kelly can do when he's uninterrupted and not distracted by various ingrates that are jealous and wish they had a fire insert like I do. But there again, the experience prevails, and just wanted to pat myself on the back since no one else was here to do it. But there it is. Seeing is believing, and signing out for now. Enjoying myself with a fine cigar, thanks to Mike and Nat Sherman cigar for this guy who brought the buck, and no one else seemed to do much of anything else but see deer as they trampled away, and Brian Kelly, as usual, brings home the goods. So this fire is for you, John,
And Mike, thank you for supporting me. Signing off.
Same thing.
Going at the hunting camp. It's clouding up in a hurry. The sun was just out for a brief moment.
Shit.
What's the matter, Joe?
The automatic shutter's not going to shut. Seven hunt, and I shot at a deer. I hit it, but I missed. Ryan shot it, and yes, but he did get it. He got the kill. He got the kill. Nice spike buck. Now the next deer I take will be 6-pointer. It'll be a 6-pointer. Unfortunately, the weather is nice right now. It was a beautiful hunting season. We saw turkey, I saw a mink, plenty of rabbit tracks, loads of squirrel tracks, and we even saw some coyote tracks, possibly wolf or fox that is. And the turkey and the deer were out in the cornfield eating the corn. And this season was the best as far as tracking. We were able to see how many deer were around this place. There were tons of deer. Even in the field, the 17-acre field, the turkey and the deer tracks I saw, even the turkey tracks up on the hill. So when I walked out on Saturday, I spooked up a bunch, or Sunday, I spooked up a bunch of turkey. They flew to the very top of the treetops of the hemlocks. It was great. I had 3 sightings the day after opening day. I had 3 doe playing around. I was waiting for the buck for about an hour and a half. Nothing happened. So I took my shot, and I tracked her for about 400 yards. Wasn't able to find her, but I did hit her. And not much long after that, Brian came back to camp, and we went to pick up his deer. That's the 1997 season for me.
Not yet. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Brian.
Well, just to recap real quick about what we did this time. We had come up on a Thursday night. We got up here around 12:30. It was raining on the way up until we hit Binghamton. And then we went on 81 north of Binghamton about 10 minutes, and next thing you know, it was turning over to snow. So we got here in the nick of time. It was really nasty driving, and turned to sleet. It was pelting off the back wall like, you could, like nails hitting it. I don't know. But we had about a foot of snow, I think. Overall, it was snowing from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was light snow, but it accumulated to about a foot. So, it was kind of neat. Now it's beautiful out. Now it's about 45 degrees or so. But once the sun goes down, it's a different ball game. But we went on a pheasant hunt on Saturday when Mike and John had showed up, and yeah, it was tough going. They had about a foot and a half of snow, Joe. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was tough walking through, but it was. We had some fun. We heard one. I think Mike saw it too. Didn't he?
No, we just heard it.
Yeah, you heard it. It crowed. I never heard that. But how'd it sound, Joe? Anyway, so we came back and had a nice meal, and then the Sunday we took a walk in the woods here. We saw a bunch of turkey tracks. Spooked up a few turkeys that were roosting in the pines down here. And next day, went out and I got my first buck that we saw before, and first deer and happened to be a buck. That was a lot of, it was, semi, happy and sad at the same time because, it's something you have to
Let it
experience.
go.
Right. Anyway, so from that point, the next day, Joe was down here, Mike and John were in the front here, and I went around the right side from Mead's property and walked in where the pines are, and I saw, 12 deer, and I watched it going up the hill. They were very far away from me, but they came right out of where Mike was supposed to be, right in the swamps there. They came from out there and they went up the hill and over towards Mead's. And I was glassing them as they were going up. I counted 8, but I'll tell you there was more than that. There had to be about a dozen. And the last 2 deer, one I saw with the binoculars, was a buck, and that had to be at least 6 points, and they were all big deer, from eating the corn and things like that. It's just unbelievable. And as a matter of fact, they have tracks that go out. When I was walking down here, they have tracks going out into the field where the kids had dropped the corn when we did our excursions to get corn. We threw them in the field, and they were hitting those up pretty good. And there were a lot of tracks coming from that tree line down there into the field, and they were just helping themselves, or gorging themselves on the corn that we put out there. But I'll tell you, that there's a big buck out there. We had some fun, and I think that's about it. We saw
What's
geese.
the year?
Huh?
What's the year?
You said the year. It's
1997.
And we saw a bunch of geese, especially down off 23 in Oros's field across
Right.
the road.
Trip. Watch out, car coming.
This concludes it. And Joey took his pictures. So it cut me off before, but this concludes our hunting trip in 1997.
Right. Got this little deer for you. This grown-up dog. You want me to tell you how it happened?
Go ahead.
Well, I got to the stand. I met up with Harry and walked about 40 yards away from where Harry was. He thought I was too close to him. He moved off. I saw a deer early in the morning. I got cold and I started, shaking and moving around, and that deer snorted and saw me and hightailed it out of there. It was a much blacker deer. This one, I moved from my original spot to a pine, and then I saw a spot where I could sit real comfortably and get a shot from behind and forward. And this deer was about 30 yards on Mona's side. And I was debating whether to take the shot because I wasn't sure if it was a big enough deer. But when I saw the crotch here and the other tine, I figured it was at least a 6-pointer. It actually turned out to be a 7-pointer. So I took my first shot. I put the bead on the middle of the deer, and I hit the other leg on the opposite side. I blew it off practically. The deer wasn't running fast, and it stopped. It ran on Atkinson's old property, probably about 100 yards away from me. There was a guy that watched me take the second shot, and the only shot I had was the head, a tree, and the body, and I aimed the gun just behind the tree, and I hit it, and I got a lung and liver shot. So once I hit it, it dropped 50 yards into Mead's property. This guy Matthew, he may come by tonight. He helped me drag it out onto the corner of our property because Mead gave him a hard time. But this is it. It just walked up, meandering, and I saw this one, and I saw this tine, and I said, "That's a deer." I can't even lift it up. I can't even drag. I can't personally drag it. It's got to be. When it was before it was dressed, it had to be like 200 pounds. It's probably about 150 pounds. It's a lot of meat.
Big deer. Well, Joe, congratulations. That is. You gonna mount it?
No, not this. I'll mount the horns, but I'm not gonna mount it. It's not big enough.
You don't think so, huh?
Hickey will laugh at me.
If I gotten it, I would have mounted it.
Not
That's
this.
a big deer, Joe.
Yeah,
That's
but
an old
no,
deer.
The tines, these tines should be out here. Yeah, I'm missing some real tine.
I would think about it, Joe. That's a big deer. That's a mature buck. It's got to be about 3-4 years old, maybe.
Yeah, it's not big.
What do I know? But
heck, Hick's got a 9-pointer and 10-pointer. You laugh at this one.
no, he wouldn't.
Nah, nothing less than an 8 to mount.
That's a nice deer.
The horns are going to be mounted on I'll mount the horns on a plaque. Yeah, how about that?
That is some deer, Joe.
We wheeled it down to those two stumps
big.
over here, and Harry came.
Yeah, we hand trucked it to the black stump that's in the roadway, and then Harry came in and we attached it to his, and he rode away up.
Wow.
So.
Something
Rigo's
else,
set
Joe.
in. Gonna have a tough time cutting that up tomorrow.
That's great. Well,
Did you
congratulations,
first see it
Joe.
when it came up?
Huh?
Did you see it when you came over? Or?
What do you mean?
Which way did you walk in? Through this way?
Came right in.
Oh, you must have been shocked when you saw it.
Yeah, it was.
Shot. Towards Lopez's place.
Oh, really? Winter wonderland. About 6 inches of snow here. Just came back for our hunt. There's the moon. Some mega icicles. A lot of tracks. I saw 7 does.
I saw one.
Joe's seen one. Now he tells me you should have shot. Well, can't take those liberties. Oh, man.
Took another nice walk in the woods?
No, I hunted, Joe.
Oh, you hunted, okay.
You know, very selective. If you wanted me to take it, I would have taken it.
Can't eat the horns.
No. Should have gave me that official A-OK in writing. So when I bring back the deer, that you go, oh, jeez. It's my dope permit. And you're right. Food on the table.
Speaking of meat on the table.
That's right. Eat like kings today.
We got venison.
It's 10 degrees when we came up here last night. What? Oh boy. I got about 6 inches of snow, I suppose. Oops. Moon over camp. Got a bag of waves, because Joey got nitroglycerin in the lamp. Man, I can't even talk. I'm frozen. Lots of tracks. Lots of tracks in our field. Going foraging. Walked down here, all the way down to Mead's property, came in, and it was right in the corner. They were coming from Mead's property down towards the stream, and then they came right at me, and they were about 20 yards away from me. This group of 5 does, good size, one baby doe, but about 20 yards away from me. She crossed where I had walked my tracks, and she smelt me, and then gave out a, well, I guess a shriek is what it sounded like, and the others bolted, and they were in the pines, and when they bolted, they hit the
branches of the pine trees that were covered with snow, and they took off in a cloud of snow. It was really neat. 5 of them took off away from me, went in towards Neat's property. And then later on in the same area, I saw another doe that walked down away from me and then went up the hill across the stream. And another one, I wasn't quite sure what it was, very cautious, in thick cover and pines, had come by, and I was hoping it was a buck, but I had one small opportunity to see the head as went down, and I didn't see any horns, but and there's that Christmas tree, and the other one down there is even bigger. But very pretty. It was just like being in Whoville. All the trees, the evergreens in particular, had all the heavy snow and it's leaning over, and it was really pretty. And when the wind blew, it looked like it was snowing, but the sun was out. But you could see the flakes coming down, glistening in the sunlight. It was just, you know, it was pretty neat to see. It was very pretty. Oops. Okay, let's get back in here. I'm gonna get out of these clothes, get changed up, get ready. Joe was gonna make his venison a la mode, I guess. I don't know what the heck he's doing. Here we go. The camp. Look at Joe. Celebrating Christmas a little early. He's got his candles. So Joe, what's for dinner tonight?
Venison.
What are you gonna call
Filet
it?
mignon.
Filet mignon. Very nice. Okay, we'll see what that's like a little later. Thanks. It's kind of dark in here, but
Oh, you're not going to be able to get pictures with that.
yeah, I'm gonna take it outside. Full moon.
You see a lot?
Yeah. Full moon. Merry Christmas. Hopefully you can see, but it's a full moon out here tonight. Just about. Pretty cold. It's about 12 degrees right now. You can see our camp. The fire going. Nice and warm inside, but just thought I'd try and show you a little bit with the snow on the ground and the moon illuminating it. It might show up, but it's actually it's beautiful. Up on the hill, you can see there's a star up there. Get Kathleen and Jimmy to find out what that star is. Well, it's probably a planet, actually. But you know, we'll just take a quick sweep. Actually fantastic. Hopefully this will come out. Can't really tell, but just a quick sweep to just get you an idea of what it's like to be up here. It's beautiful. Stars. You can see my shadow. Hopefully it shows up on the film. That's beautiful. It's a winter wonderland. And get a picture of that moon. Alright, back inside. It's cold out there, Joey.
Was it?
Oh, man. And let's see the ambiance, the fire.
What's the temperature outside? Did you check?
Well, hopefully you were able to hear that. That was geese flying at night because of the moon. And as a matter of fact, I'm sure there's going to be deer out in the field for the same reasons they can see. But I'll tell you, that was something. Geese flying at night. Hopefully you could hear them. But I ran out here as soon as I could. It's beautiful out here. It really is. You can still hear them in the distance. Couldn't see them, but you could hear them. All right. Get back inside.
Was it part of the building?
I couldn't see them, Joe. Couldn't see them. Sure did hear them. All right, a little ambiance.
You made a lot
Put
of
some
noise.
logs in there, but I'll get a nice picture once it gets roaring. What's that, Joe?
There was a lot of geese out there.
Yeah, there was a ton. I just didn't see them. Heard them. All right, till next time.
I did it. With rice no water, I'll get down this slope with no problem. Come on.
Joey, see what I mean, Joey? I didn't need this here, right? Wow, look at the driveway, beauty, snow. And you said, why do I want to have this at home? Hey, Joey, don't try this at home. Leave it to the professionals. Four-wheel drive.
Big difference with four-wheel drive.
Yeah. No comment?
We're gonna take a ride to the Stumpwood. See if Jimmy can go down the snowboard. Jimmy, you getting ready? Yep?
Yes, I did
Let's
it.
go. What the hell?
Jeez. Ooh, it's a man. Not ready yet. Still not ready yet.
Ready?
Yeah.
See ya, Mary.